Have you ever done something simple, almost mundane, like watering a tree, and wondered, does this even matter? Can something as ordinary as pouring water into the soil hold any real spiritual weight? Could it actually be a path to enlightenment, or even a profound act of merit? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into a question that might seem small on the surface but contains layers of spiritual insight beneath it. We are going to explore the hidden power of everyday action, beginning with something as basic as watering a tree, and how such acts can become vehicles for Buddhist merit, spiritual transformation, and even global healing. In our fast-paced world, we often overlook the quiet significance of our daily habits. We celebrate the big gestures, the life-changing donations, the visible activism. But what if the most powerful change begins in the silent spaces, in the subtle, almost invisible acts we perform when no one is watching? In Buddhism, that's exactly where the path of merit begins. Let's first demystify the concept of a merit. In Buddhist teachings, merit isn't just some cosmic scorecard where good deeds are tallied to earn spiritual points. It's not about racking up karma in a transactional sense. It's about cultivating the conditions within ourselves and the world that lead to awakening, peace, and collective well-being. Merit, known as Pu'en Pal, it is rooted in three things: intention, action, and the heart with which the act is performed. When we perform acts with pure intention, when we move from compassion, when we see ourselves as part of a greater whole, those acts radiate outwards in ways we may never see, but that deeply matter. Merit is about resonance, about the energy we pour into the universe through our thoughts, words, and deeds. Historically, the Buddha and his disciples emphasized merit-making as an accessible spiritual path for everyone and not just monks or scholars. Giving food to animals, offering water to travelers, planting trees, these were all acknowledged as meaningful acts when done with the right heart. Now, let's bring it back to watering a tree. On the surface, it seems like a routine task. You grab a watering can, you pour, a tree drinks. That's it, right? But pause for a moment. Think about what's really happening. You're sustaining life. You're nourishing roots you cannot see, contributing to a system that gives back oxygen, shade, fruit, and shelter. That tree might become home to birds, bees, and butterflies. Its roots may prevent soil erosion. Its presence may cool the earth around it. And perhaps, most importantly, it may outlive you, becoming a silent, green guardian long after you're gone. That's not mundane. That's magnificent. From a Buddhist lens, this simple act reflects several core teachings. First, metta, loving kindness. When you care for a tree, you're practicing metta not just toward a living organism, but toward everything that tree supports. You're expressing goodwill, non-harming, and compassion in action. Second, the principle of interconnectedness. You and the tree are not separate. Your breath depends on its leaves. Its health shapes your air. When you water it, you're not doing something nice for the environment, nurturing your extended self. Third, mindfulness. If you approach this act consciously, not as a chore, but as a sacred offering, you transform it. You turn it into a meditation, blessing, a moment of union with nature, with presence, with purpose. Watering a tree becomes a living prayer. Now imagine what happens when more people do the same. When communities gather to plant and care for trees, they're not just enhancing the environment, they're cultivating spiritual resilience, they're participating in a collective act of renewal, both physical and metaphysical. And in a world reeling from ecological collapse, climate instability, and emotional burnout, these simple acts matter more than ever. But let's take it further. The tree is a metaphor. Watering it is a symbol. What else in your life is just a tree waiting to be nourished? Is it a relationship that needs kindness? A stranger who needs eye contact? a part of yourself that you've been neglecting, a community project that could thrive with your energy. Merit isn't limited to watering actual trees. Every moment is fertile ground. Every interaction is an opportunity. Smiling at a lonely neighbor, reusing a bag instead of discarding it, choosing patience over irritation, cooking a meal with love, listening deeply when someone is in pain. Each of these is a form of watering the tree of life. And when done with mindfulness and compassion, these actions ripple out. They plant seeds in others. They soften edges. They heal unseen wounds. That's merit in motion. So how do we start cultivating this path of simple, mindful merit? Here are a few practical ways. Begin each day with an intention. May my actions today bring peace, love, and benefit to all beings. Choose one ordinary action like washing dishes, taking a walk, or greeting someone at work, and turn it into a conscious practice of metta. Start a personal merit journal. At the end of each day, jot down 3 small acts of kindness you offered, not to boast, but to remind yourself that your life is a force for good. Volunteer local, not out of obligation, but out of love. Plant something, care for it, let it remind you that nurturing life, no matter how small, is sacred. Because here's the truth, you don't need a grand platform to make a difference. You don't need a degree in theology or a monk's robe to live a life of spiritual richness. You just need awareness, intention, and the courage to show up fully in the smallest of moments. This is your legacy of Mare, to not in the headlines, but in the hearts and habitats you touch. Imagine a world where millions of people begin their day with a commitment to water their proverbial trees, where every act of care, no matter how hidden, becomes part of a silent revolution of compassion, where spiritual merit is not confined to temples, but lived in kitchens, gardens, classrooms, and sidewalks. That world is possible, and it begins with you. So the next time you pass a tree or take a simple action for the planet, pause, recognize the sacredness, see the impact, feel the connection. And know this, in that moment, you are walking the path of merit. If this message moved you, share your reflections in the comments. What's your version of watering the tree? What small act can you do today, not for praise, but for presence? And if you want to continue exploring the spiritual power of daily life, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and join this growing community of mindful change makers. Until next time, may your actions be rooted in love, may your days be watered with intention, and may your life blossom into a legacy of merit.